This one, this will be.
Oh, I know, I've been there.
Good. Well, good for you.
Movie first reading.
Yeah,
This one.
We're spinning out and keeping my between stuff. Saturday we couldn't get as much stuff, because we had my mother-in-law with us. We had to put a wheelchair in the way back.
Oh, yeah, it's too bad. I'm going to call the pre-council meeting for the city of Ashtabula to order. Today is Monday, May the 4th, 2026. Will you please call the roll?
Mr. Roskovich,
Here.
Mr. Simeone,
Here.
Mrs. Foglio,
Here.
Mr. Guerrero,
Here.
Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills. Here. Mrs. DiGiacomo,
Here.
Mr. Timonier,
Here.
Ms. Cooper,
Present.
Mr. Khan.
Here.
Okay, very good. All right, and so we will continue on with our meeting. We should be quick tonight because we have the force, May the Force with us. So it should be a quick meeting, and we'll make a bunch of supersonic decisions, and we'll be out of here. But we have no resolutions or anything going on this evening. And as for the president's report, I don't think there's anything pressing that we need to know about. Our next meeting is May the 18th. And then, other than that, I don't think we're ready. So I think we're ready to go on to the city manager's report. Are you ready, Jim? I know you've been busy all that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Couple things for tonight's agenda. First is an ordinance. We mentioned this before with Wilkinson paving for various street cut road restorations, amount not to exceed $49,994, and that'll come out of Fund 412 and 503. The reason it's coming out of those two funds, 503, as you know, is water pollution. 412 is our permanent improvement. The majority of these cuts, I think all but one of them, were sewer repairs, and one of them is a storm repair. That's why the two funds are denoted in the ordinance. We have a second round of tree removal. Johnson Tree Service was the lowest bid. Amount not to exceed $12,400, and that expense will come from 205. That's the Public Works Fund. The next ordinance,
Is that, oh, I'm sorry.
yes,
Do we do the stumps or they do the stumps?
depends.
Okay.
So if we have time, we will save money and do the stumps ourselves.
Okay.
We have been doing a lot of the stumps ourselves.
I know, because we have a stump.
Was it a tree that came down recently?
No, I just know in the past, we have a stump
Yes.
machine, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Mhm. Next is an ordinance consenting to the installation of a median cable barrier along State Route 11 within the city of Ashtabula. This is with ODOT. ODOT is putting a cable barrier, I believe, all the way from Jefferson in the median. This is so that cars don't have the ability of crossing the median into the other lanes of traffic. So it's kind of, I guess you'd say, being forced upon us, but obviously it's still a good thing. The concern going forward is we will be responsible for maintenance of that after it's installed. We have no outlay of cash or investment into the project. It's all being done by ODOT, but after the fact, we do have the maintenance of that if something were to happen to it.
Jim, while we're talking about Route 11, could I ask about the end? You know, I know it's been suggested that, you know, there's two blinking lights down there. And I know some of the people in the neighborhood, and they were suggesting maybe something more pronounced. If the state would be willing to do something like put more pronounced, because somebody said they won't put that big round pylon back. They are.
Well, we are having that entire system reviewed,
Okay.
whether or not that's whatever today's standard is.
Yeah.
We do have a quote to replace that just one. It's significant. But before we replace the one, I want to make sure that system is still acceptable to today's standard. So along with this conversation that we're having with ODOT on the cable barrier, I've asked them if they have some suggestions for us, plus GPD is looking into it for us as well.
That would be a city project?
Yes.
Even though it's at the
So
end of the
if you
route?
remember how long it took us, that one sign that got hit,
Yes.
and we're responsible for it. So when it's within the city limits, some of those things we are responsible for. So that barrier being on the other side is something we're responsible for.
Mr. President, I don't mean to sound stupid, but what is it? What is a cable barrier? Is
So
it a
When you-
cement thing or?
No, so when you see that along, you see it in other various parts of State Route 90 and 271. It's basically metal posts, and then there is literally a cable that's stretched between them. And it helps to catch cars
So
if
it
they're
is
gonna
what it
cross
is
the
what it
median.
is, cable
Sort of
barrier.
works like a aircraft carrier. There's
It's kind of that same type of cable. Yep, yep.
Well, like I said, I just had people ask about more pronounced lighting at the
Yeah.
end there.
I mean,
I know we haven't had a lot of wrecks there. This
well,
one-
you have, the wrecks that we have, I don't think would have made any difference if
Yeah.
it was, if there were more lights, but I mean, you have the rumble strips, you have the lights, you have the stop
that's the
signs, you
thing,
have
yeah.
quite a bit there. But, if there were something that would help, I mean, we'd look into it, but I believe when Route 11 was paved last, and when they did some work on 531, that intersection was reviewed for the lights and things, and nothing was justified to do any more there, but we can always ask. As long as we're looking at that barrier at the end, we can see if there's anything
It
else.
was just mentioned,
Sure.
a couple of people down there. Thank you.
Lastly, and this will come at a later meeting, an ordinance to enter an agreement with Proline Technology for the installation of security cameras at the annex, in the amount not to exceed $60,381.01. Why the 1 cent, I don't know, but that was in their bid. It includes the installation and maintenance of the equipment and the licensing agreement for a term of 5 years. This will come out of 412, and the court is also contributing $12,000 over 2 years towards this project as well. So these are basically the security cameras that are inside the annex, and that system does need to be upgraded. It's extremely old. So, that's all I have for requests for ordinances. Finally, we're getting some good weather where people I know are out in their yards. We are doing curbside leaf bag pickup. I believe we're in the harbor this week. And that runs through the first week of June, alternating the two areas. As most of you probably see, the Main Avenue project is off and running. They have gotten through the entire west side of Main Avenue. They've begun laying some of the conduit for the streetlights. So that project is progressing. We also have several storefronts that have been out to bid. We've received some bids back for the facade program, so that is all underway. Things are extremely busy in our offices right now. Right now, we're waiting on the pre-con meeting with Koski Construction to review timelines and dates for the paving, and then still waiting from word from ODOT on when Collins Boulevard is going to start.
Mr. President,
Yeah,
I just had a couple things.
yeah.
Mr. Manager, I just sent you some pictures of a complaint that we've been getting off and on for the last year about basketball hoop on Joseph Avenue.
Okay.
I don't know how we handle that, but every time I drive by, it's in the yard.
Well,
But
I
this
think
lady-
we've been there and actually helped them move it back at least once, so
And this,
seems like a repeat offender
pictures
here.
don't lie.
No, I'm not saying they do. Yep.
And then just a couple of pothole requests. There's 3 or 4 pretty good sized ones on East 15th Street in between Columbus and Harbor Avenue, East 15th. And then obviously the Harbor Avenue problem that we need to, and I'm glad to see that the street sweeper is up. I saw it running today on West Avenue.
She's back. We do need to send it for calibration with all the work that we had done on it. Calibrating part of it, it's kind of proprietary software, so it's got to go to a different company than where we had it fixed at. But we want to make sure that that's done. If you see, it's kind of leaving a little windrow as it goes. So we just want to, the calibration should take care of that, but it's performing much, obviously, better than when we sent it, so.
Thank you.
No, I was going to say the street sweeper was on today.
I would just, and I know you guys, you're really busy, but I drove over to Vidoc today and I, looked, and the grass here was all cut, so very nice and everything, and I looked, and there's that big billboard over there, right by City Hall.
Oh, this one now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that.
We were Forced to, we voted to.
Yes, we did. It's
know.
unfortunately here on the totem pole
Yeah, I
right
was
now,
gonna
so,
say, I
yeah.
know you're busy, it's probably low
Yep.
on the list.
yep,
Do we ascertain revenue from that?
we do. Yes, Montrose pays us for it.
It'd be nice though to drive over and see the city,
A nice
see the
light
city
sign.
hall.
Mr. President,
Yes, go ahead.
can I ask Mr. Manager, do we have any updates on Welcome Home with the house, anything with the houses yet?
We don't.
Okay.
I know one of the foundations is in, had to make a little bit of an adjustment. The first house that's going up is gonna have a full basement, because of where the footprint of the house that was demolished, the compaction rate wasn't good enough to have.
The one on Station?
Yeah, it's the one on
Okay.
Station. Compaction rate wasn't good enough to have a crawl space, so they had to dig it out and do a full basement. So that one's gonna have a full basement.
Same price?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Wow.
Not the same price to the land bank, but same price to the owner. Yep.
Nice. That's a nice
Mr.
upgrade.
President,
Yes,
to go back to something that Mr. Guerrero brought up, Mr. Timonier, it was asked if, because of the street sweeper consistently breaks down, a thought of perhaps buying smaller ones that could be dedicated to a ward, in the event one goes down or breaks, we can kind of swap out and use and help support other wards, and as opposed to continually trying to fix this one that always seems to have difficulties.
Yeah, well, like I said, we replaced the engine on this one, so that was a major repair. Knock on wood, should get us for a while here, but a smaller unit than what we have, that we have spec'd out and we've actually seen, is over $300,000.
Even used, because this resident was saying that they are hovering around 50 to 60,000, the smaller ones.
Sure, there's parking lot sweepers that are that cheap, but they're not capable of what we need when you're cleaning roadways. There are certainly smaller units like that. There are some that are tow behind existing trucks, but the hoppers and the amount of time we'd just be running back and forth, emptying them, and then the suction power of them, and I mean, there are cheaper ones, but they wouldn't meet our needs on the streets.
Mr. President,
yes.
so I've been hearing more concerns about speeding on residential streets. And it's that time of year. Are we identifying hot spots? I don't know. I would love for this to get fixed.
If you could put an officer on every street, I think it would be fixed, but we're not. I mean, we have 4 patrol out every day, 5 sometimes, and they're usually running from call to call. We have been doing traffic, as we've reported. Safety forces, we have been bringing back the amount of tickets that we're giving out for speeding and for noise and different things like that. So we have ordered the signs. The PO's issued. They've been ordered for the radar signs. So happy to take any other suggestions beyond that.
So, the people that complain to me, it really, you could throw a dart and hit any road, but it seems to be certain times of the day. I don't know. I'm just,
Report it to us, and I'm sure our guys know about.
so
those
if
things, but-
if I'm a resident at home and there's, at 4 o'clock every day, it's, Speedway, Raceway, I just call the police and let how do they go about doing that?
They can send you an email, they can send me an email. We can relay the messages back and forth. Anytime we get any kind of complaints, we talk about them as departments of, what different things we can do.
Okay,
So yeah,
okay, thank you.
When speeders get tickets, what's sort of the percentage that they actually pay those fines?
that I don't know. That would be a court question, yeah.
I didn't even think that was an option. Anytime I've ever got a speeding ticket, man, they would get it up right now.
I mean, if they take it to trial, I mean, they could always contest it, and
So, Mr. President, if I might, when somebody gets a ticket, if they don't pay it at or before their arraignment, the case comes to our office, at which point Ms. Colgan handles the traffic stuff. She'll look at their driving record. If it's a first offense, she generally offers to amend it to a non-moving violation, but requires them to pay the original fine. If it's not their first offense, they've got to pay the ticket. And if they don't pay the ticket, then it gets set for trial. And the only time it gets dismissed if it's set for trial is if the officer who gave the ticket doesn't show up. So, and that occasionally happens for one reason or another. But for the most part, if it's not a first offense, they have to plead to the ticket. If it is a first offense, she generally offers a first-time muffler violation.
Mr. President, is this something new? That you're taking all the traffic citations? Because that was never the way it was before. If they didn't come for a traffic citation, we sent them a letter. After the letter, there was a warrant. End of it.
Oh, I'm sorry, no.
You're talking about for pretrial.
What I meant was, yes. If
Oh,
they-
okay, for
If they
pretrial.
don't plead guilty at the
Okay,
first appearance,
I get it.
then it
okay.
gets set for a
I thought you were
pretrial.
getting all the
Then it comes
no-shows.
to-
I'm like, oh my goodness. You guys must be
no-shows.
inundated.
No shows, they issue a warrant.
Warrant,
I-
got it.
I'm a little confused too now that, anytime I've ever been in that situation, you go and they say, yeah, you did it. And they say it's, however, I don't even know what going rate is now, but now that I'm mature. But back in the day, you know, it was at least 100 with the court cost, but you had to go right over to that window and pay. I didn't think it was an option.
So it is an option. You always have the right to plead not guilty. And
All right, well, not, that wasn't the, I mean,
so when you get a speeding ticket, it's just like any other criminal violation. You get set an arraignment date. You can either pay the ticket before the arraignment date, in which case it's considered a guilty plea, or you come to arraignment, and the judge gives you the option of pleading guilty, not guilty, or no contest. If you plead not guilty, then she asks if you want a pretrial, and then it gets set for another hearing, and that's when my office becomes involved. But, yeah, that's the process. I think it's always been that way since,
Are you talking about payment, cash, giving the cash at that time?
so if you just.
yeah, like, I just didn't realize that there was leeway in the payment process. I thought that once you left there, they're like, go to the window and pay.
I'm sure.
I didn't realize that you could make payments, or you could.
Yes.
You can. You
I
can
did
set
not
up
know
a
that.
payment plan,
Yep.
but in order to do the payment plan, you have to come to court. If you just pay the ticket, then you just pay it at the window, or you can pay it online
Right.
and be done with it. But no, they tell you when, nowadays, they tell you when your court date is. And they tell you can either pay the ticket before the court date, or you have to come to court. So
Tell
I
you
don't-
right when they give it to you?
Yes. I don't know when that changed, but yes, that's what they do now.
Oh, no, it was that way when I was there too.
Okay.
Always had a court date, Monday or Wednesday.
But we thank you for your money.
Okay, is there anything else for the manager? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two items for tonight, and the first one is the second reading of the ordinance enacting adoption of the employee general reimbursement policy. And the policy accommodates for the auditor of state bulletin number 2023-013, provision pertaining to the sales tax exemption and refund from the State of Ohio Department of Taxation. And my second item is an ordinance to make supplemental changes to appropriations in the general fund and all other funds listed on Exhibit A for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Ashtabula, state of Ohio, for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2026, in the amount of $49,482.47.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan, do you know anything, we got there's changes in the court payroll Do you know anything about that? Would that, I think the email came from Carolyn in your office about they're putting a new finance director. I was a bit confused by that email. I just don't understand.
So they used to have a finance clerk that, as of last week, took a position of just a clerk, and there was another employee that was promoted to the finance clerk's position, as far as I know. And the details are exactly in that email that was sent by Carolyn to all city council members the other day.
Yeah. Did you read? I got the
I
impression.
got a lot to say about it, too.
Well, I get like it was a new position, or is it a combination of positions? Because the salary is quite, good salary. So I don't know if it was a combination of, like I said, I just didn't know. I just assumed all their finances.
It's my understanding.
Went through you.
Thank you. It's my understanding that it was an old existing position and they
Okay.
just replaced employees there. And a new finance clerk is now a salaried
Okay.
employee instead of
An hour.
hourly,
Oh, okay.
as in the past. But I can find more details and
Okay. Thank you. All right.
I have something to say about that. Back in 2020, there was a head bookkeeper by the name of Marcina. Marcina, at that time, was having problems with bookkeeping, deposits being deposited, all the things that Ms. Amato put in her email that this new person is going to have to take over. That was in 2020. She went to the judge, and she also sent a letter to Tracy Welch, which I have a copy of. And the next day, she got an email from the clerk, Tanya, telling her to destroy that email, that they were going to take care of everything in-house. Now, this is 2020. Fast forward to 2023. We gave the court $5,000 to have the state auditors come in and take care of their books. 2023, now this is 2026, and their books are still not jiving. So where is the problem? Is the problem in the office? The person that's taking over the financial clerk was the supervisory clerk back in 2020. Here we are 6 years later, under her supervisory, it's still all screwed up. So, we give them money to straighten it out, and they just don't. And I know this isn't your problem, because you weren't here at the time. This is 2 finance directors ago. But my point here is there's something very wrong that the books aren't jiving for 6 years. So, I don't know. The judge is going to do what the judge is going to do, but there's something definitely wrong with their books for 6 years. And I know you can't answer that. I don't mean to be mean to you or anything, but I just want everybody to know this is an ongoing problem, very ongoing.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Ms. Cooper, do you have anything for us?
I don't really have anything for you. The only thing I have to tell you is that the new victim advocate, we've been tracking her statistics in order to apply for grants next year. She's been to 2 online classes about grant writing that were free, so I'm very excited about that. But in April, she had 400 contacts with both witnesses and victims. Wow. Of those, 233 were just with victims. Now, that may mean 8 contacts with 1 victim, but that's 400 contacts with both witnesses and victims in a month. So your money is being well spent. Thank you. That's all.
Mr. President, Ms. Cooper, I was talking to somebody who worked at Signature Health and was saying very good things about the victim's advocate.
Emily took it upon herself to reach out to Signature Health, Community Counseling, JFS. She's been going and meeting with them and talking about her resources and finding out what resources they have. And she's been getting a lot of good feedback, so.
I heard,
Yeah.
and
But
this
yes,
person really didn't know who I was, but she works at Signature Health and was saying what a blessing she is.
Yeah, Emily did that all herself, too. She's young, but she took that upon herself to reach out to those folks, so we're very happy to have her. That's all I have, Mr.
All right.
President.
Is there anything for Ms. Cooper? Ms. Milberg, do you have anything for us this evening?
I don't have anything.
Thank you, Ms. Milberg. Then we have our committee reports, economic development.
Our next committee meeting is May 6th, and we will have America's 250 group in.
Finance and personnel.
Our next meeting is May 15th at 8:30, right here.
And Public Works, I believe we have a report, correct?
Yeah, Mr. President, I had the honor of chairing that in Mrs. Mills' absence.
Thank you.
But I'll be brief. The Parks Department is actively working, and the jet crew for our sewer jet is being deployed quite frequently now that the weather is, turning a little for the better. The city is transitioning from the cold mix to the hot asphalt mix for the pothole repairs, which works significantly better. But we still have to work around the plant's schedule when they're making the stuff. And the Main Avenue project is progressing very well. They got, kind of lucky with some weather, and they're a little ahead of schedule on the utility pole removals are underway. Mr. Manager reported that the city is exploring the acquisition of a truck with a, for lack of a better term, double wide snowplow for some of our main roads, such as Lake Avenue, West 9th, Route 20, where one truck could do 2 lanes at the same time for snowplow, which would help a lot more with traffic flow. So would that mean that they would stop doing that one truck behind the other thing?
There's some cases where it would still be needed, but we would probably deploy that single truck out to those mains to handle that and be able to send the other trucks to the other areas.
But once again, the cost is going to be super expensive to to do that, and we'll see if that's going to be a reality or not. Down at the wastewater treatment plant, the outflow into that shipping slip, they're conducting their tests on it now to see if that's going to be a full go. And the UV system is operational. E. coli testing has been completed, and everything seems to be working fine. They've had some surge protector issues that had to get straightened out down there, but they're working on that. And as far as Public Works goes, everything seems to be going fairly well. They have 2 new sanitation employees that are starting, must be this week, because that was last week. The Mr. Manager, he did order the traffic control signs with the radar, and when they get here, we'll install them, which is kind of nice. And then the one kind of disappointing thing is that the EPA did not give us the grant for the curbside pickup for the existing wards. And for us to do that, it's going to cost about $300,000, which we have no idea where we would ascertain that at this point. So that was some bad news. I guess we'll have to keep trying. And the next meeting is not going to be in May. It will be on June 23rd. And faithfully submitted myself.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero, when you mentioned curbside pickup, what are you referring to exactly?
Well, as you know, half the town does not have recycling and the black containers. And we've been aggressively pursuing the EPA, who bullied us into this in the first place for the first 2 wards, to get to pay for the rest of the city. And our city manager has been diligently applying for these grants to fund the rest of the operation. And we were told, as of the last Public Works meeting, that we were denied the grant to continue with the project, which kind of puts us back to square one as far as how are we going to do it. So It was very disappointing on many levels. But it is what it is.
I've often asked the question for about a year now, what's our plan B in the event that we didn't get the grant? And so now that we know, what are our options or alternative means of acquiring the recycling bins, especially for those wards who have never gotten them in 7, 8 years?
Well, sanitation is an enterprise fund,
I've heard that before.
and I'm not an expert, but raise everybody's rates, which we know is not gonna be popular. Or, figure out another way to fund it with some other kind of grants, I guess would be the option. I mean, Mr. President could probably talk more intelligently on that than I can. But, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm kind of at a loss. I personally think the county should be paying for it because we did them the favor to take those first containers in the first place.
Mr. Timonier?
Just to follow up on that, so we have reached out to the EPA to have a debrief on the grants. You can request kind of a technical look at those. I have not heard back yet from them to have that deep dive and to see if there's any other discretionary funds that may have been turned back into the EPA from other rounds. Sometimes they have little things that we can sneak through. Remember with this grant too, a little over half of it was coming from the grant, and the rest of it was going to come out of operations. So the grant was for, I want to say about 170-some thousand, and that would have given us the recycling containers and the delivery of the containers. The garbage containers, the black containers, that was not eligible for grant funds. So that was our commitment to the grant. So we're waiting for that. We have had discussions with Jake Brandt, who's the director at the county solid waste district, about other options there. We're looking at some different things to do down at the transfer station too, as well with recycling. Our costs for monitoring that have gone up, so we're modifying the contract there. So yeah, just as there's always been the question of what's plan B, I have put it back out to council. Happy to take any advice or any other suggestions, and I have not heard any from anyone at this point either. So we will continue to look for those funds. As you all know, we did increase rates last year, so we should be growing that fund of sanitation. And if it gets to a point where we can fund it ourselves, we'll fund it ourselves.
Mr.
But
President.
that's a ways off.
Mr. Manager, since we've started recycling, has it paid off or are we paying?
So
Does it pay us to, do
No.
we pay to recycle in the end after everything's all said and done?
No, the county actually, so all of the materials, when we pick up curbside, go back to the recycling building that's on our sanitation
Okay.
lot. In addition, all of the county drop-off sites are brought to that place as well. We then, with our staff, pack the truck, and the county actually has a contract to have it hauled to Twinsburg where the recycling facility is. So our time and material into it is running the second route to pick up the curbside recycling, and then the time it takes us to pack the trucks at the recycling center. In addition to packing the trucks at the recycling center, it's not all clean. There is contamination in there.
Right,
So
yeah.
our guys are going through and picking out the contamination. We're paying to dispose of that, but do we pay anything towards recycling besides the man hours? No. And then the county also pays us for every weekend that we stay open so that residents or other people in the county can drop off the recycling there. That's the contract right now that we are reworking to try to get a little bit more money from that. Have we seen decreased rates in those areas a little bit, or decreased landfill rates because of this? Yes, we have. I think it was about 25%. So we do anticipate another 25% decrease when we do it the rest of the city, because we did kind of half the city.
One
There
more.
will be a point in time. The commodity for recycling is not
No,
what
it
everybody
used to
thought it was
be.
going to be. You know, there's times where, yes, we'll take glass, and there's times when, no, we're not gonna take glass. And then you all know the steel market that fluctuates for what we get there. But anything that's rebated back does not come to us. I think it goes to the county, and I don't believe they receive anything back. I think there's a payment for disposal of it.
I just want to, one more thing, give kudos to the sanitation department. I was putting out the garbage, which, by the way, I never do. But I had a recycle in one hand and a garbage bag in the other. And when I went out, obviously, I put the garbage bag in the recycle and the recycle in the garbage bag. Well, when they came to pick up my recycling, I was out on the front porch watching them, waiting to get the garbage can to come back. And it was taking them a long time to put my recycle thing on the truck. Pretty soon, the young kid, must be due, came up the sidewalk to my door and gave me a ticket and told me that I had garbage in my recycle bin. And so I thought that was really, you know, they're not just dumping it. They're actually looking to make sure you have recycle. And that was my fault because it was raining and I just switched the bags. But yeah, so kudos to them for doing that.
Thank you. Yep, we have door hangers printed, and that's not only for recycling, but if you're putting out excessive amounts and we see it over time, you know, 1 or 2 times, that's one thing. If it's excessive, we do door hangers and or try to make notification.
Yeah, he was very nice about it, and I
Thank you.
apologize. That was my fault.
Good guys, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Manager, for the speed limit signs that you ordered, are those the ones that are solar powered?
So we've ordered one that's solar powered, that'll be permanently mounted on Bridge Street. The other one is battery operated.
Okay.
And I think it's a 5 to 6 day life, and then we have extra batteries, so we'll swap them in and out.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero, I'm not sure if it's Public Works, someone instruct me if I've got the wrong department, but which one of our departments actually paints the stripes on the streets that indicate to drivers they should not pass it when it's close to stop signs and/or where there's a bus stop pickup for students?
You're asking me that question?
Anybody who can answer it.
I mean, Public Works paints the streets.
Yeah.
Street, yeah.
There's no bus pickup paint.
Well, whatever the stripe, because I talked to a police officer about this, he said typically there is a indicator where cars should not go
At the stop
past
signs, yes.
prior to the stop sign, or especially where there's a school bus pickup for students, where parents who may be dropping kids off or pick up, they should not park, so whatever that distance is.
With the weather just breaking, we have obviously not had a chance to paint, but they will be out. I think we try to have everything done by June 30th as far as crosswalks, stop bars, and the white lines. And then we're beholden to the county. The county has a machine that does the center lines. There are some center lines we do on our own, but they're smaller. A lot of the longer runs are done with the county's machine. We contract with them to do the yellows. And that usually takes place sometime in July and August.
So, Mr. President, to piggyback on that and to kind of clarify your question, there's the crosswalk, and then there's a white line behind the crosswalk. That's the stop line. Cars are supposed to stop at the stop line, not the crosswalk. So that gets people a lot. You have to stop at the cross line. Stopping at the crosswalk, if there's a stop line, means you've gone through the stop sign and you're gonna get a ticket if you're caught. But that's what you're talking about, Ms. Holman.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
So there'll be stripes back on the streets by the time kids go back to school.
Oh, yes, yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Anything else for Public Works Committee? Safety Forces?
Yes, Mr. President, we will be having a meeting beginning next month.
May the 14th.
14th, yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, the Planning Commission, I believe, is meeting the Historic Preservation Committee meeting is next Wednesday, the 13th. And I haven't seen their agenda yet. I know they were pretty busy last month. And then the Planning Commission is meeting on the 21st. Thursday, the 21st. And again, I haven't seen their agenda, but I do know that they said they were gonna meet whether they had items or not. So those two meetings will be coming up. Okay. Is there any discussion of new business or proposed legislation? Is there any discussion of old business or legislation that is on for its second reading? Is there any discussion for the good of the order?
I have something. For the good of the order, I would like to thank City Manager Jim Timonier, Clerk of Council Stacy Milberg, Ward 4 Counselor Jody Mills, John Melnick, and Mark Verzella for their help organizing this year's city cleanup. And I want to put a reminder that it's this Saturday, May 9th, and people are meeting right here at 8:30.
Okay,
Rain or shine?
thank you.
No rain.
Mr. President, I have a question, and it sort of doesn't fit in the criteria of prep for new legislation yet, or unfinished, or maybe it's in between. But a while back ago, I sent draft legislation to council with regards to the transition to the Thriving Communities Commission. And some counselors did offer some feedback, and feedback continued to come. So given the newest feedback that was shared with me, I am wondering what the council's thinking about two different suggestions. Since the committee would prefer to have representation from each ward, because the data will be ward-focused data, the new proposal is for one representative from each ward to be a part of that commission.
Wait, say that again, I didn't follow it.
The new proposal, initially it was set up for 7 members. But in thinking about the new approach, being able to provide ward-level data
Okay.
to each counselor and also provide administration with data-driven analysis, then the recommendation is, what if the commission is comprised of one person from each ward? Doesn't have to be
So
necessarily a
not
counselor.
necessarily a counselor, but somebody that lives.
It would
I
have
gotcha.
representation from each
Okay.
ward.
I got you.
That's the first thing. And the second comment was about living within the city limits.
Okay.
And while we currently don't have any sort of stipulation that says all members must live, not live and work, but just live in the city limits, how about the phrasing of the majority of the members will be required to live in the city?
Is this some kind of new proposal that was sent out to us or something? I haven't seen this.
No, so you've seen the draft one.
Yeah, a while
Made
back.
revisions.
Yeah, that was a
right.
couple.
And as we continue to go back and forth, and additional council provided comments, so we've taken those comments in consideration and still trying to rework it so that people can see the value and the benefit of this Thriving Communities Commission. And so it's an open discussion to see what people are actually thinking about it now before we move forward.
And I think I said, and I have said several different times, if you kept your thriving community, if you transitioned from a ad hoc committee on racism as a health issue to an ad hoc committee on thriving communities, none of this would really be that complicated. You would be able to have any members you want. You'd be able to, they can live, like right now your committee has people from Geneva and all over. That could be the same thing. And that's my suggestion. I don't see why this is becoming more complicated, in my opinion, than it needs to be.
Well, it's a bit more complicated because it's not that simple. When
But
we
I-
think about the fact that the ad hoc committee has already been in effect for 3 years,
Okay.
then there was not an understanding of what's the purpose in being another ad hoc committee. And we also noticed that in our research, not only did we highlight social determinants of health and a lot of other data around education and health issues and all that other stuff, it expanded beyond racism. So it's more broadly social determinants of health and can provide the city with a lot of the data that it would need to apply for grants.
Right.
So it is not the same. The scope has broadened, broader, and we would like to be able to offer this service to the city for more permanent status as opposed to being another temporary ad hoc committee without the teeth and the weight to be able to influence legislation and services more broadly.
There again, I'm sorry, where'd you go?
You share, and it's
I
very,
just,
they're very clear.
I just
with
want to
your
know
position.
then, with this being said, is your ad hoc committee done with what they needed to do?
So it's not that simple.
Yes, it is that
Counselor.
simple.
It may be simple to you because
No,
this
it's
is
very
a
simple.
Are you
You
gonna,
can't-
can I
you
answer?
can't
Am I
transition.
going to answer the
Go
question?
ahead.
Thank you. So what the committee feels is though, we do not want to dissolve until we have something else in place. Once we have something else in place, that we continue to look at and analyze the data and offer suggestions and strategies and approaches so that we have thriving communities all across the city, we want to see this in place before we then dissolve.
I don't
the
think that
existing
that's the way it works. I think you have to dissolve one committee in order to start another committee, was my point.
I think there would be some disagreement with you on that.
Ms.
Well-
Solicitor?
Well, again, I would just say, we had the ad hoc committee. You came and you made a presentation to council. These are our findings, these are our recommendations. Council heard those recommendations, and I'm certainly not speaking for council, but none of them were adopted, or none of them were assumed by council. I don't know what the correct word would be. Council heard the recommendations, and that's where they stood. So then, I think the impression at that time was that report, those recommendations to council, were the end of your ad hoc committee. And then you wanted to transition to a council committee. And I think at that time, I said, why don't you go to a Thriving Community Commission, and you can be there forever, as long as you want. You could do whatever you want. You can make, like the other committee, you can make suggestions, you can share thoughts. And that was it was a simple transition. I don't know why we're being held up by a name or by a
No, it's
a
not
status
just
or
the
thing.
name, and Madam Solicitor, you can feel free to help. It's not just the name, but it's the purpose, the intent, and the longevity. An ad hoc committee is still a temporary committee.
It could last as long as you want. I mean, that committee could last as long as you want.
So then what is if you are saying that it could last as long as we want, then what is the reluctance or what is the barrier that's being presented that it doesn't allow it to be a more permanent committee?
Well, the difference is your ad hoc committee, you have your membership. You have people from Kingsville, you have people from Geneva, you have people from here and there, and that's fine, and that's what you were working with. When you become a council committee, then you're following council guidelines.
We understand
You're
that.
You're following, you know, you have to have council people on the committee.
We understand all
They're
of that.
committing to more time, more
We
duties for the
understand
council
all that, and
committees.
that is our responsibility.
Well, it's not really, it's council's responsibility, and so,
Our responsibility to create the legislation
Well,
around that, and
okay,
it's
well,
council's
like
responsibility.
I said,
to
I just,
approve.
Ms. Holman, I just don't see the point of it, I guess. And I mean, you know, you could, there's a vehicle available for you to accomplish what you want. And it's there, it was there when you had your ad hoc committee on racism, and it's there if you want to have an ad hoc committee on thriving communities.
And again,
Your
the que-
vehicle is there. You have the ability, you have the opportunity, I guess. It just has, I guess you have to be willing to want to do that. So-
We want to be willing to be able to help inform every ward in the city around social determinants of health and inequities. We don't want it to be temporary. We want it to be a longstanding part of the city to help it thrive. So we don't understand why this push to be yet another temporary ad hoc committee.
I don't know.
I think you should bring it to council for a vote, and we'll see.
And before I do, I'm asking to take a pulse so that I better understand how to draft it so that it will work.
It's taken you 9 months to draft this.
We don't have to get personal. It's not a simple fix. These are complex issues that need to be addressed with mindfulness, care, connecting with a number of different stakeholders. So
I understand that.
Appreciate that.
I did send some concerns, and I never heard back on any of them. And I think they were valid concerns about who was appointing the members and.
Correct, yep.
And I expressed all those concerns.
this
I
actually-
never heard anything back, so,
This actually addresses that.
well, I don't know, because I haven't seen this new document, so.
But my questions that I just presented is saying that if there's representation from each ward,
I don't.
Mr. President, may I ask a question on that?
Go right ahead,
Ms.
sure.
Holman, you did say that could there be representation from each ward, but then you followed that up with guidelines of having people that didn't live in the city. So which is it?
so, because there are two different suggestions that's being approached. So for the one, representation from each ward would enable it to be more diverse and representative. And then it was also a comment made about wanting it to be primarily people who live in the city, not just people who live and work in the city, because that's how most of our committees work. And so in order to address that, have the majority of the folks live in the city, but outside representation just sort of broadens our perspective, or for folks who have seen other things and been other places to bring that fresh perspective to share with us, for us to have additional considerations. That's all that.
So this is one or the other then?
No, actually both. So in addition to one representative from each ward and one chair, one co-chair.
Oh, okay, that's my mistake.
I
I
hadn't
thought you
gotten to
said
that
you were
part.
taking it back to 5 for the committee.
No,
Okay,
no, it's expanding it actually.
thank you.
And I'm not sure if you want to bring it up now or over email, but there was a question around city employees and union representation. That question came up as well. It wasn't necessarily from you, but it teeters on your authority.
My only concern with city employees would then just be the time of day that you have the meeting, because typically city employees that are on committees do get paid when they go to those committee meetings.
Understood. And then there was a comment around some compensation being offered to folks who were staying afterwards, depending.
Yes, that's what I mean by that, yes.
Yeah, so that is on the table, because we certainly want to be in compliance, for sure. And want people who actually have the real genuine interest and the conviction to be able to address these complicated issues.
So how many people are you now suggesting are on this committee?
Yeah, so some of that, I appreciate that, and I would hope that council can actually chime in. So if we're looking at 5 with representation from each ward, a chair and a vice chair, what does council think around city employees? I'm open to that. I just know it needs to be an odd number.
So you're asking what we think about having city employees on it?
No, we need to do that, but the question is how many? Is that the right
Well,
question?
do you need to have city employees on it, or do you need to periodically bring them in for input? Like we do for Mr. Giacomo's committee, or any of the other committees where members of the staff show up to either do reports or to hear suggestions, or?
Can I say yes and? Yes, because we think that's important and it's critical. And if there are some folks who would want to be on the committee, I mean, it's only meeting 4 times a year, then we would welcome city departmental participation as well, because we think it's important.
4 times a year, what's that?
Well, in the legislation, it just says quarterly.
Gotcha.
And that
Okay.
could change as well, but it says quarterly. Is that a question?
Yeah, I know I have spoke with Ms. Holman about this, and the committee could work on things that would help Ward 5, and I think that I support it. I support it. I think this council should support it.
With the work is gonna impact each ward, I mean, the entire city.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
I was one of the people that objected to the non-citizen thing, and I still gotta stand by that, Ms. Holman. And not to throw Mrs. Scruggs under the bus, but she's sitting right there, and she comes to every meeting, she lives in the city, she's engaged in what we do here. I value her opinion more than I value an expert from Painesville, or I don't equate expert with somebody that lives, especially if this is gonna be a policy-setting thing. I really think that people should have to live in this town. And a perfect example of that was the lady, and she had a lot of good points that was here. I don't even remember what she was complaining about, but she said she lived in Williamsfield or something, but her kids swim at the Y, so she's here all the time. I mean, she just doesn't have a stake in our community. For me to go into this with a clear conscience, it's gotta be people that live here. And the other thing that I never even thought of until Mr. President just said it, I guess I didn't realize you could transition into another ad hoc committee, which I didn't even know that was possible. But where you have a good team and a lot of people on board now, 10 years from now, that might not be the case. Well, there's a real good chance that none of us are gonna, be involved at that point in time. And then what happens to that committee if it's a permanent committee? I mean, does it disintegrate? Are the people that are on the committee at that time, are they gonna be with the same focus that your group is now? I mean, we don't know. That's an unknown. That's kind of scary to me. Whereas if it was once again, I didn't even know if it was possible, but a new ad hoc committee where you had a little more latitude to do what you wanted, and then you could dissolve it whenever you felt like.
So thank you for your contributions and for chiming in, but I know that social issues don't go away. And they may not be the same issues as today, but there always needs to be a set of eyes and ears.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
assessing. It may shift to something different.
I'm just saying, I've been involved in a lot of projects where the original group went in with all the best intentions, and then after there was a 2 or 3 turnover, it wasn't exactly the case. In a permanent committee, that's a little scary.
We have permanent boards and committees all the time in the city. And they've been going on for how long? I know you don't know that answer, but we've had them going on for quite some time.
But who appoints them?
It's a representation. Councilors can appoint them. It's a representative from each ward. You have a say in that.
So at the end of the day, we're responsible.
No,
You know,
for representation.
If I appoint somebody or ask Mr. President to appoint somebody to a committee,
If you want, if not,
then it doesn't work out, I mean,
what do you mean it doesn't work out?
I'm just hypothetical. If it doesn't work out, then, I'm assuming we have the ability to remove them from that committee. I mean, I don't, of the standing committees that we have now, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, so currently and correct me if I'm wrong, but our current committees have a staggering or rolling sort of process. So every 3 years or so, people roll off and then other people come on. That's how they exist currently. So there's not a shift in that. The way they operate is the blueprint that I've been given to create around.
I see we've come to 7 o'clock, which is the start of our regular meeting.
So will another draft of the ordinance go out once you make these changes to it?
I haven't really heard changes.
Or
You mean these
suggestions of what
recommendations?
you've,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. going back and forth over the email wasn't really getting us to where we needed to be, and the solicitor was saying that we should not be replying all too many of the emails, and so it was recommended that I just simply bring it up you're welcome, at a pre-council so we can have a conversation about it.
Okay, we will adjourn our pre-council meeting. At this time, I have to wait a minute. I'm going to call the city council meeting, the regular city council meeting for the city of Ashtabula to order. Today is Monday, May the 4th, 2026. At this time, if you would please stand for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begun, may through you reach its completion. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Milberg, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Holman?
Present.
Mrs. Mills?
Here.
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Here.
Mrs. Foglio?
Here.
Mr. Guerrero?
Here.
Mr. Simeone?
Here.
Mr. Roskovich?
Here.
Mr. Timonier?
Here.
Ms. Cooper?
I'm here, but Mr. President, may I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Mr. Khan?
Here.
We have no one absent this evening. We are sunshine law, okay? And we will have at this time the reading of our legislation.
Ordinance number 2026-85, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Wilkinson Paving for various street cut road restorations. Ordinance number 2026-86, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Johnston's Tree Service for the second round of removal of trees in various locations. Ordinance number 2026-87, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2026-38 for the purpose of enacting replacement legislation. Ordinance number 2026-88, an ordinance authorizing compensation, salaries, and wages to employees of the Ashtabula City Municipal Court and Probation Divisions. Ordinance number 2026-89, an ordinance to make supplemental changes to appropriations in the general fund and all other funds listed on Exhibit A for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ashtabula, State of Ohio, for the period January 1st through December 31st, 2026. Ordinance number 2026-90, consent legislation for the installation of a cable barrier along State Route 11 within the city of Ashtabula. And for our second reading this evening, ordinance number 2026-83, an ordinance enacting adoption of the employee general reimbursement policy.
Thank you, Ms. Milberg. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. DiGiacomo moves and Mrs. Mills seconds. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will approve the agenda by a 7-0 vote. We have no special items, communications. At this time, we will have citizen comments. Anyone who would like to address council on any item, be it legislation or any other item, just approach the podium, state your name and address, and we will go from there. Thank you.
You know me by now, D. Scruggs. I want to say, first of all, people that are home, please vote tomorrow. Secondly, I'm pleading to all the minorities, meaning Spanish, Mexicans, whites that don't make over 40,000 or whoever the situation, come to these meetings. I have learned so much by sitting here listening to some of these meetings. I'm telling you directly, some of the issues are personalities, whether you admit it or not. Personalities. We got to focus off the personalities and get to the issues. That's what we voted for you for. That's what we need for this city to grow. If I don't understand what your position is, let's be open-minded enough to get on the other side of your opinion and let's talk about it. You might not understand where I'm coming from. You can't tell me what it's like being a minority unless you're a minority. You cannot tell me, I don't care how sympathetic you are. I don't care what you think you know, but you can step in a store and you have no issues. I can step in a store and I can have people following me. So don't tell me what it's like. I'm asking every person that's listening to me on the TV, get your behind up here. You want us to 2 or 3 or whatever to fight for your rights, but you're sitting at home saying what they should do and I don't agree with this and they should do that. Show the committee, show the board, show the councilmen that you have a concern about where your city is going. It's all right to sit back and speculate, but get in the fire. The fire will burn. Sometimes you need a logical person that's concerned about the citizens to put the fire out and get the job done.
Thank you, Mrs. Scruggs. Anyone else who would
That
like to
gave me
address the city?
goosebumps.
Thank you. I had to do something when I stepped out.
My name is Bobby Keene. I live at 1733 West 15th Street on the corner of Grant and 15th. I kind of see her point somewhat. Anyhow, I wanted to add on to my garage, and they told me next door that it can't be done. I don't understand why. She says nothing over 200 square feet can be built in the city again. She won't give me a permit. I have got drawings here from my old garage and what I'm doing to it and where I'm at from the landmarks and from the sidewalk. And I've got my contractor ready to start. And she's telling me I can't do this.
Is it attached to your house or is it not
No,
attached?
it's not attached to my house.
So it's
It's-
freestanding?
Yes, ma'am. My garage is not even attached to my house. It's behind my house.
Behind your house.
So,
Mr. President, yeah, so these go back to the moratoriums that we put in place it's coming on about a year ago. Actually, I take that back. It was at the end of last year.
Yeah, the
When we
fall,
placed the
yeah.
moratoriums on there. So anything that's over 200 square feet for an accessory structure, there's a moratorium on. And the reason that is because we've been having quite a few issues in a lot of areas where people were building pretty large structures.
I've seen them.
Yes, and then we were
Some
getting,
of them look ridiculous.
and that's why we have the moratorium right now.
But this is a basic garage.
Well, so unfortunately, right now, for you, it's anything that's over 200 square feet. Now, this isn't permanent. As you may know, we are going through updating our master plan, and at the same time, we've started updating our zoning code, and we intend to be done with that zoning code sometime at the beginning of next year. And then that will set those parameters to protect the rest of the city from some of those things where you said look ridiculous. And that was the whole idea behind the 200 square feet right now. But it's not forever.
But this garage is basically way off the road. And there it's blocking nobody's view, and all it is the same height as the garage I got now.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily about heights or blocking views and everything. We've had issues with water runoff. We've had issues with, flooding other people's property, structures getting too close to borders, different things like that. So I realize you're your project is one off of a whole bunch of them in the city. The 200 square foot was recommended to council for that moratorium, and that's what's in place right now. So that's why your permit was denied.
So I can't do my garage, is that what you're telling me?
As things stand right now in the ordinance that's beyond the books today, no, you could not, if it's over 200 square feet.
Can I ask how much over 200 it is?
250, wasn't it?
Well, it's, the garage is, let's see here. It's coming off my garage 20 feet. And it is 28 foot 4 across. My garage right now faces the,
So
What I'm saying.
it's 20 by 28 is the addition on top of the garage.
my
that's already
garage
there?
now is 28.4 by 22.2.
That's what it is today.
Yes.
And then your addition is how big?
It's going out 20 feet to the east, and it'll be the same north and south as 28.4.
So it's another 560 square foot. So it's doubling the size pretty much. So you're gonna have 1,120 square feet in a garage. Yeah, that's large. Yeah. That's the size of most homes.
I just asked, I thought if it was a little over, maybe could he change the plans
I
a little
can't.
bit, but no, it's, yeah.
Well, 200 feet is like 10 by 12, right? Or 10 by 20.
Correct. 200 square feet is
If
10 by
you-
20. Yeah. Well, but now this is we'd have to look at how this is written, but this is an addition to an existing 560 square foot garage. So we have to look at the accessory structures and see what language is in there for accessory structures as well that are on a property.
What if it's attached to a house?
Same thing. I think it's the additions, no additions over 200 square foot right now.
Yeah.
But how are they doing these houses on Winterfield, Walnut Boulevard?
Those are brand new construction.
Well, this is
one on-
basically a brand new
Well, but
addition.
it's not with an existing house that's already there. So that's, again, like you said, some of these areas where there was existing houses, existing garages, and they just went crazy adding on to them, we were trying to protect that right now. And it's not forever, it's just so we can get the zoning redone so that we have a better hold on preventing some of those things from happening.
If Mr. King came back with say a 10 by 18, I'm not trying to be, I'm just figuring this out. Structure, that would be 180 square feet. That wouldn't be part of the moratorium.
I
But
again, I would
there
have to,
may be-
I don't know the particulars of this one. I have heard that, this was going on in the office, but,
Yeah.
You can look at these that I got. These are actual measurements.
okay.
From the sidewalk, from the
Yeah.
property lines.
Yeah, I just don't know, yeah, because I'm wondering if that would happen somewhere else in the city too. Somebody says, I don't want to build 200, but I'll build 180 or something, how do we handle that or something?
Well, with some of these that, and I know that like the garages you're talking, there's one like a couple streets over. I mean, this thing it's big enough to park 2 semi trucks in.
Yeah, we have,
And it looks, in my opinion, I think it looks ridiculous. I mean, and I think the guy's retired, so I don't understand why he'd want something that big unless he's planning on living in it.
Well, I mean, essentially, when you're all said and done here, you're gonna have a 44.2 by 28.4 garage in the backyard. And that's a big,
I have a lot of stuff I'd like to be able to keep in it. I mean,
I would love to have a garage that big, trust me, I would, yeah.
but it's all my property. I'm just not able to be able to do what I want on it. To
Well,
me,
like I said, it came about because of some of the other things that you're talking about. And some of the other concerns, we've had concerns with water runoff onto other people's property and taking up an entire, there are requirements in our zoning of still having green space in backyards rather than everything being a building.
I still have green space,
Okay.
believe me.
Yeah, I don't know how many acres and everything your lot is, but, I mean, essentially, council, if it was over this 200, you'd have to repeal that ordinance and
yeah, and we've already.
take a shot, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know, you can, maybe I don't know how you would handle that. Maybe meet with Ms. Church and maybe talk about changing
Well, I
the
mean, if
size
this
of
is,
it,
if
or-
this is the size that you want to go with, like I said, until we get the zoning done, these moratoriums are going to stay in place. And then the new zoning will have what size recommendations and the council
And then
ultimately
at that
will.
point, I probably still would be able to do that. You'd still
don't-
be at a small garage.
I don't know. I don't know what the end result of that's gonna be. That's gonna be a combination of our consultants, our planning commission, and council ultimately approving what those zoning requirements will be. And I'm sure there will be at that point, cases where there's variances or conditional use where you can apply for those different things if it fits a criteria.
So,
I-
so
Go ahead.
I just want to say, I feel sorry for you, but because other people have taken advantage of us, we had to do this. So, I feel bad for you because, I'd want to build a nice big garage too, but then we have people who took advantage and have built 3 double-car garages in a residential
Well,
area, and
And on top of it, if they had a building permit, they should have been inspected as they were building this thing, and that should have stopped it. I mean,
Well-
that's what the building inspector's for, and to get a permit.
you're right.
And we
So-
rely on the county for the building inspection. We don't have our own building inspection here. And there have been cases where the plans turned into us turned out to be very different than the plans turned into the county.
Yes.
All right, Terry, do you want to say, Mr. Guerrero? you wanna-
Well, I'm reflecting on this now. So if someone wanted to put a 2-car bay garage on the side of their house, they're not allowed?
If it's under 200 square feet, yes, they could. Yes. So that's 10 by 20.
I mean, how long is a car?
About 17 feet.
Right, so, I mean, it's gotta be,
One-car garage would be it's barely a one-car garage.
Basically, what I have now is a 2-car garage, but it is not, you can't put 2 cars in it because of the way it's built, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because of the overhead doors over here, and you got, most of it's like over here, that, when I bought the place, that's the way it was. 20-some years ago.
Okay, well, Mr. Keen, I'm sorry we can't give you any resolution tonight. Like I said, you can continue to work with the city offices in your builder, but, we can't change the moratorium. So I'm sorry about that. Okay. Anyone else who would like to address council at this time? Citizen comments? Any other reports? Any counselor comments? No? All right, we will go on with our meeting then. We will approve our minutes. Ms. Milberg?
April 20th, 2026 pre-council meeting was called to order at 6 PM by President Roskovich. Present, Mr. Roskovich, Mr. Simeone, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, and Mrs. DiGiacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Khan, and Clerk of Council Milberg.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Ms. Holman seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by a 7-0 vote.
Can I say one more thing,
Okay,
if it's all right?
yeah, we're done with citizens portion, but go ahead
All right.
quickly.
Where I live at is the house that's on 14th Street.
Yeah,
This thing's been a wreck since I've lived there.
yeah, that was,
And-
yeah, I reported that, and the gentleman from the office has gone there.
Okay.
Yeah. yeah,
I mean,
was
it's,
gonna
it's
tell you.
basically a rodent
Yeah. I did report-
territory.
I did report the address, and Mr. Timonier sent the guy out the very next day.
Okay,
So hopefully,
all right.
it'll be slow, but hopefully we'll get some improvement.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. King. Ms. Milberg, will you continue on, please?
April 20th, 2026 regular council meeting was called to order at 7 PM by President Roskovich. Ward 2, Counselor Guerrero offered the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Present, Mr. Roskovich, Mr. Simeone, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, and Mrs. DiGiacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Khan, and Clerk of Council Milberg.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
Mrs. Foglio moves.
Second.
Mr. Roskovich, oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Mills, seconds. Thank you, Mrs. Mills. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by a 7-0 vote. We will now have the reading of our ordinances.
Mr.
Yes,
President.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Before she reads them, I guess this slid by me when we were supposed to discuss all this. On number 90, I don't see a cost on any of this.
Okay, that,
State shall assume 100%.
Cable
Mr.
area, that's,
Mr. President, yeah, ODOT is,
hey,
we have no contribution to that project.
yeah,
Okay, so we don't have to pay? All right.
we would just have to maintain it.
Yeah, after it's up, if something were to happen, then we have to maintain it.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Milberg, will you read the ordinances, please?
Yes, these items are presented for consideration. Ordinance number 2026-85, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Wilkinson Paving for various street cut road restorations. Ordinance number 2026-86, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Johnston's Tree Service for the second round of removal of trees in various locations. Ordinance number 2026-87, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2026-38 for the purpose of enacting replacement legislation. Ordinance number 2026-88, an ordinance authorizing compensation, salaries, and wages to employees of the Ashtabula City Municipal Court and Probation Divisions. Ordinance number 2026-89, an ordinance to make supplemental changes to appropriations in the general fund and all other funds listed on Exhibit A for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ashtabula, State of Ohio for the period January 1st through December 31st, 2026.
May I have a motion to handle tonight's agenda in consent agenda format?
I'd like 2026-88 held out.
Okay. Can I have a motion to handle items 85, 86, 87, 89 in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by
Mr. President?
Yes.
I think you have to keep 2026-87 out as well, because that's the
That's the
ordinance
repeal.
repealing.
Okay.
Yes, 87 and 88.
All right, sorry. Can I have a motion to handle ordinances 85, 86, and 89 in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Holman moves, thank you, and Mrs. Mills seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will do so by a 7-0 vote. Can I have a motion to waive the reading of the legislation in its entirety?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Holman moves, Mrs. Mills seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by a 7-0 vote. Can I have a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings?
So moved.
Ms. Holman moves, Mr. Simeone second. Thank you. Any discussion? Will you please call the roll?
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone?
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich?
Yes.
Ms. Holman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
We will waive the charter requirements of 2 readings by a 7-0 vote. We will now vote on adoption of that legislation.
Mrs. Foglio?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone?
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich?
Yes.
Ms. Holman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Yes.
These 3 items of legislation have passed by a 7-0 vote. Okay. We will now handle items 2026-87 and 2026-88. Is it council's desire to handle these 2 items together?
Mr. President?
Yes,
So I think before you told me in regards to municipal court, I have to ask permission to abstain?
Yes, that's correct.
yes. Yeah, if you're not gonna vote on this, then you wanna abstain, we have to vote on your request to abstain.
I have a question about that, and maybe the clerk of council would know, city solicitor is gone. For you to abstain is, I think it's because, is it supposed to be a direct family member or of a financial interest in the legislation?
Yes.
And direct family member would be brother, sister, spouse, or child.
I think there's been opinions in the past for similar situations as Mrs. DiGiacomo's family, that this is close enough that it's suggested to abstain.
It's suggested. However, that is.
Every abstention is suggested, even if we were voting on something that my brother had, it's not mandatory I do, but it's suggested for.
But legally, for future, it should be immediate family members and having a financial interest in the passing
I don't
of
know if the
legislation.
definition is immediate family, but again, that probably would be a question for the solicitor. But anything that's been this close has usually led to an abstention.
Mr. President?
Yes,
Can we get, just because we're going to be voting on these separate, just a little more detail as to what the compensation and salaries is? What we were paying before as opposed to what they're asking for now?
there,
It's in there.
yeah, there was an email, but
I don't think he got it because I didn't get it.
I got
I
it.
didn't.
Yeah, I think I got it, and I sent it to somebody, but that's why I asked about it, because it was hard for me to follow.
Explain it.
So I have the
ahead, yes.
numbers.
Okay.
So Miss Maria Rivera is currently a salary supervisory employee making $60,028.80 per year. She's being promoted to the new financial clerk position for $66,268.80
So she's going from 60,000
to 66.
to 66.
But this is a different position. What were we paying that position prior to her? Do we know that number?
I don't have that number in my
I
email.
had
but-
it.
Is it on the, it probably is on the repeal ordinance.
I know, I probably should have shared that email, because when I got it, I asked a question about it and received an email.
I have,
She's a-
Financial clerk?
She's a supervisory clerk, she's the paralegal, she's going to the finance clerk.
Now, is that position that she previously had going to be filled also?
Yes.
Or so this is just a new thing that we're coming up with?
Yeah. Would it be council's desire to table these two items until everyone has all the information that they need?
Is everyone satisfied except for Councilor Guerrero?
I don't know that I'm not satisfied. I did, this is the first time seeing this, and I guess it's not,
I don't see the financial in the previous that we're repealing.
There is a form that explains all this.
I
just
forwarded
received
that
a
email
text
to
text
all of
message from
council just now, yes.
Carolyn Sheldon. It's $23 per hour. That was her previous pay,
So
So
if I understand. it.
previous finance person was making $23 an hour.
So that's a $23 an hour times 2080 is $47,840 a year.
This is 60.
So it's a 20-some thousand dollars increase to put one person from one position to another position. And she's been here for 6 years, so she knew the problem existed. That's my thing with this.
Yes.
Not so much her, is that she has been here all this time. She's been in a supervisory position, and she's known that this financial problem has existed and did nothing about it. Now, she's gonna be promoted to that financial position that she did nothing about, knowing it was in jeopardy for 6 years. That's my thing.
Mr. President, are some of these conversations personnel and should be private? Certain details about this.
Would it behoove council to table these items until everybody has a chance to look at all the data?
I'll move, I guess, I'll move
To,
on
to,
that.
to table these two items? We have a motion to table item 2687 and 202688. We have a motion by Mrs. Foglio. I'll second that. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I'm just not seeing this email. When did it get sent?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we just need, everybody could have more time to look this over. But I know I got it.
Just now.
Yeah, okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Milberg, would you call the roll on tabling these two items?
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Abstain.
Mrs. Foglio?
Yes,
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone?
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich?
Yes.
Ms. Holman?
No.
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
We will table these two items by a 5-1 vote. Thank you. Okay. Oh, and I guess, oh geez. All right, I forgot to vote on Ms. DiGiacomo's request to abstain. We have a motion by Mrs. DiGiacomo to abstain.
Mr. President, because you tabled that, I don't think that's
Doesn't
necessary.
matter, okay, good. Thank you, Mr. Timonier, for your help there on that. Okay.
So, just for
Yeah.
clarification, Mr. President, on this April 29th timestamp from the court here, it says hereby ordered and decreed that we have to do this. That means we have to do it, right?
Maybe it's court order, we're kind of stuck.
I mean, if that's the case, I don't know what we're tabling.
Well, we will table it if for no other reason to have all the data in front of you. Like you say, it's a court, she'll do what's that called, court order. And then, but at least, and it'll go through, but at least we will have then we'll have the correct information when it comes back to us next week on the 18th. Or in 2 weeks. on the 18th.
I appreciate that, because this is hard for me to read.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, when I come here, I always grab paper copies, because it's just hard for me to read off that computer screen. I would appreciate hard copies of all this.
Okay. Okay, and then, and like I said, it'll probably be court ordered, but we'll,
Well, the way this looks, it already is.
yeah, I'm sure it is, probably already taken place. But, yeah, but we'll table it, and then everybody will have the information in front of them, and maybe we'll feel more comfortable. 'Cause like I said, I found it confusing, that's why I asked about it for another reason. Okay, Ms. Milberg, will you give us the first reading on 2026-90?
Ordinance number 2026-90, consent legislation for the installation of a cable barrier along State Route 11 within the city of Ashtabula.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of this legislation in its entirety?
so moved.
Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves and Mrs. Mills seconds. Is there any discussion? Who cuts the grass on the freeway? We do?
ODOT does that. We have an agreement with them that we accept their truck wash from the Seven Hills Station at the wastewater treatment plant in exchange for them cutting
Cut in the grass.
Route 11.
Okay.
Yep.
So make sure they're weed whacking along these.
Well, as you've seen, they've cut down on mowing medians and areas on the freeways. They've been using a what do they call it? Not a weed killer, but a pre-emergent
Yeah,
to slow down the rate of growing. And then also you've seen how they're cutting back trees and things to have
The side,
more of
yeah.
a view of animals crossing and things like that. So
yeah.
they've been doing a lot of vegetation stuff, but in the summertime, they do allow it to grow.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Mr. Timonet. Okay, and we have a second reading this evening. Ms. Milberg?
You have to vote on 90.
Oh, I thought no. Oh, yeah, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading of that entirety by a 7-0 vote. Thank you, Ms. Milberg. Now we'll have 2683.
Ordinance number 2026-83, an ordinance enacting adoption of the Employee General Reimbursement Policy.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of the legislation?
So moved.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Mrs. Foglio moves. I will second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We will waive it by a 7-0 vote. This is the second reading, so we don't need to waive that. But we will now have a roll call vote on the adoption of the legislation.
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone?
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich?
Yes,
Ms. Holman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
that item of legislation has passed by a 7-0 vote. Thank you. I don't think we have any administrative approval votes this evening.
Mr. President, I have a question, and I know this is totally out of order, but I've been getting messages from folks at home. Do I bring those concerns up now? Do I wait till our next council meeting at pre-council? It's in response to different things we've discussed
I
tonight.
would think that would come at next council meeting.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes,
Mr. Jackman, does it have anything to do with the current legislation?
No.
okay. Thank you. All right, does anyone have anything for tell us something we don't know?
I have a
Mr.
question.
President?
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Excuse me? Are you addressing? Okay. I have a question. I did not know, maybe you guys can answer this real quick. When you guys get salaries, raises, you guys get $20,000, who pays for us citizens? That little agenda you guys can, who pays, who get,
Mrs. Scruggs, we had our citizens portion before, I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry, I thought he had extra 5 minutes. Never mind.
I'm sorry, thank you.
You did.
Mr. Keene was given time because his time was interrupted by
It's all right.
people answering him. People were speaking back with him, so then that was his time. What?
Nobody.
What?
Nothing.
You guys are making 20,000?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
I'd
no.
like to
All
know
right.
mine,
No.
20,000.
Okay, is there anything for tell us something we don't know?
Mr. President?
Yes.
Yes. Safety Town. Thank you, Ashtabula Police and Fire. Safety Town is scheduled June 8th to 19th. So, and sorry, I have laryngitis. It's incoming kindergarten and first grade at Michigan Primary, Ridgeview Elementary, and St. John's School. So they have morning and afternoon sessions, and they also invite high school students 9 to 12, because they can get volunteer service credit hours for this. And registration forms, you can go to on Facebook, Ashtabula City Department. They have a QR code. You can also get the forms at the schools or the Ashtabula City Police Department dispatch. So thank you again. This is a good program. I think it's only been back, one or 2 years? Was it fourth already? And it's great. I'm excited, because I have a grandson going to kindergarten, so he's going. So, yeah, this is great.
Mr. President, just to quickly, we recently added Kingsville School as well, it's Kingsville Elementary.
Oh,
So they're on
good.
the list too. Yep.
All right, wonderful. And I know Kelly's been working on Bands on the Beach, so that'll start, I think it's Thursday, June 11th. And I think the first band is High Horse. Everybody knows that one. And the lineup she got is amazing. So everybody come on down, bring your chairs. It's free, 7 to 9 at Walnut Beach, because it will get sunny and warm. Right?
Eventually, huh?
Eventually. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Mills. Does anyone else have anything for tell us something we don't know?
I have something real quick. So, March 25th is the parade downtown for Memorial Day. And just,
May.
March. I was just wanted to see if you were listening. Good job. Good catch. May 15th is the deadline. So if you have paperwork to send in, May 15th is the deadline. So just reminding people. But right now, we have 19 to 20 units. So it's going to be a big deal. Come on down for the parade in May.
Thank you, Mrs. DiGiacomo. Anybody else have anything for tell us something we don't know? I would just say, I had caused to be at the hotel, the Riverbend Hotel for, recently. And I would just say that building, it can't be more of an asset to our city than it is. They're doing more and more things all the time, but what a lucky thing that gentleman, or those gentlemen, decided to invest in our town and put that hotel there. I heard they got a suggestion from somebody, that made a good suggestion about putting a hotel there. And it's really, I think it's really transformed our town, and it's just a great asset. So, but other than that, I agree with Ms. Mills. Hopefully we'll get some nice weather and we could all enjoy Ashtabula in the summer. Our next meeting will be Monday, May 18th, and we will begin then at 6 o'clock. So everybody be safe and have a good couple of weeks.